Race 5 at Belmont jumps at 3:35. It's the Peninsula Dining Room Handicap over 1650 metres, and our horse in focus will have a look at the most recent start of Sea Spring from Pinjarra.
Better than it. On the outside then is Humanity, and a run comes for Solsana. Behind those then is at the head of the others Sea Spring. Running on down the outside is Bold Victory, Spookwood, Scenic Journey from a long way back. Humanity reaches the lead with 100 to go. Over on the outside is Bold Victory and Scenic Journey coming late. Bold Victory, Scenic Journey, Bold Victory.
I thought it was a good performance there from Sea Spring there at Pinjarra. The horse itself began quite well and possibly could have led, but they opted for a sit on that occasion. There doesn't look to be that much speed in this event, so I think it should be more suited rolling forward. But when you also broke down the sections there from that most recent start, it did cope with a mid-race slowdown before accelerating late, which is something I do like to see. The horse has briefly held up in the straight, but really attacked the line over the last 200 metres. So I think if it can do that rolling out in front, it should be pretty hard to beat. So it goes on top for me from the Ford Delectable Dolly, who managed to settle a bit more forward at York last start. I thought it was a really nice sustained run. It was strong late going towards the line, and I think the step up to 1650 looks ideal for this horse. Third pick is a 10, which is Storm Trade. Jumped best in that field. There wasn't really any intent to lead and eventually sat outside the lead in its most recent start. It just seemed to be out sprinted by a few horses that had momentum out wide in that most recent race, but it does look to map in a more kind position here. And then fourth pick is a 6, Regent Star. It's another on-pace galloper. It's got a wide gate, but I think it should begin well and just come across. Last start we saw it sat in the breeze before being shuffled back on what was a slow pace. It was out sprinted late. I'm not sure that's its go. On top in race 5 is the 7, Sea Spring from Ford Delectable Dolly, 10, Storm Trade and 6, Regent Star. Race 6 at Belmont jumps at 4:10. It's the Schweppes Handicap over 2,000 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent start of Unending, last seen at Belmont.
On Saxoff, letting loose though, 23 red, Beg to Differ gets an inside run. Diplomat Express Unending coming down the outside, further back then came Media Baron starting to thread his way through, and Diart's coming down the outskirts of the track with 150 left to go. Diart, Diplomat Express Unending from Media Baron. Diart reaches the lead however, and Diart on the quick back up from Pinjarra Wednesday.
Unending was taken back towards the tail of the field and eventually settled 3 wide without cover, so I'm not sure it was suited from that point of view. But the horse was also galloped on at some stage during the race, and the last 2 starts we've seen from this horse have both been particularly good ratings. It looks like it's getting back up towards its best form. And all things considered, it should jump from gate 6 and come across and either lead or settle pretty prominently in this field. I'm not sure there's a great amount of speed drawn inside. Most of it seems to be drawn outside to the horse, so it should get itself into a nice and forward position and be strong going through the line. Second pick is the 5, which is Pure Gem. There was a spec for this horse at odds. It jumped okay, but landed 3 wide without cover and had to do a lot of work coming around the field. It was widest into the turn there at Pinjarra, and I really just don't think the horse is necessarily suited at all. I think it maps far better in this event here. Third pick is the 7, which is Jimmy Rapid. Settled back in the field there at Albany, but just went around them with contempt with about 1,200 metres to go. Took up the running, showed a great turn of foot and was able to sustain it going to the line. Gate 1 looks soft. I'm not sure it will be able to pull the same move here, but obviously it can handle a bit of tempo up front. And then fourth pick is the 3, which is Tone. The old boy was never clear in that most recent start. Probably got clear around the 100 metre mark and was strong going towards the line. But look, I think it should get itself into a nicer position with the wide gate in this event. On top in race 6 is the 6, Unending, from 5, which is Pure Gem, 7, Jimmy Rapid and 3, Toned. Race 7 at Belmont jumps at 4:45. It's the free entry to Belmont Park Handicap over 1,400 metres, and we'll check out the most recent performance of Ferradieu, last seen at Pinjarra.
Homeward bound at the 350, Alcina, Driftstar have come together. About a length away is another story. Back towards the inside, Machino Misses making a run at them very quickly. Driftstar leads the way from Machino Miss, and Light the Fuse works into the clear. Fair Do further back, but Machino Miss now shrugs them off. Kicks away Machino Miss. Machino Miss beats Light the Fuse. Driftstar.
I don't think Ferradieu was suited there last start at Pinjarra. The horse typically does its best work rolling out in front on pace, and there was just a bit more speed than what it necessarily anticipated in that event, and eventually settled midfield. It was just going solid towards the line, but I think the step up in journey, the slightly slower tempo and the lack of speed up front in this event should allow the horse to roll forward from the wider gate. Jason Brown on board should be able to kick it forward and dictate the race. So it goes on top for me from the 4 Damos, who just in a recent trial went to the line very strongly under a hold. The only real concern for the horse is the distance. It does tend to have its better ratings over slightly further, but it will be the strongest horse going towards the line. Third pick is a 7, which is Sketchline. I don't think it was suited from the inside gate last start. I think it's much better horse, getting a bit of wind-up room, and it gets a nice wide barrier here for this event. Again, it's another horse that will probably be worse in midfield, but doing its best work going towards the line. And then fourth pick is the 11 Good Fortune, who just seems to map in a really nice spot. It's been a few weeks since we've last seen this horse, but when we did last see it, it just lost momentum there from the 600 to 400 before picking up late going towards the line. On top in the last, race 7, is the 9 Ferridew from 4 Damos, 7 Sketchline and 11 Good Fortune. Best bets at Belmont, race 3, number 11 Manhattan Money, and race 5, number 7 Sea Spring. That's all for us here at Perth Racing. If you'd like to keep up to date with us, please follow us on social media or keep in touch via our website. Until later in the week, I'm Pete Anthonys. Good punting and go well.